Okay, then. So we're going to play. I hate to say it's probably going to be our only game because while you were giving your last answer there, Scott, I scrubbed 2 pages worth of questions out. Nope, nope, nope. So we're going to go straight to a little game, name association. I'm going to give you a sentence, a little description, and you tell me the first name that comes to mind when I say it. First one is the funniest person in the locker room.
Gosh, there's a lot of them, but
It can be funniest looking if you prefer.
funniest guy in the locker room. You know, Hawk would do a thing where we're in the locker room and you just wore out. You know, you're on the road, you're tired, you're just wore out. You remember Walter Cronkite, of course, right?
I've heard of him, yeah.
The old news guy. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
7 o'clock news, and he had this voice. Hawk would grab the newspaper and he'd read it to the boys, like Walter Cronkite. Now, if you're our age, that's funny stuff, brother. And I mean, he would go with it, man. And I mean, he was comical as hell. But God, I mean, there's a lot of funny things that happen. But who's the biggest jokester? I'm not, Brad Armstrong. What a guy.
That's the
Yeah,
Brad Armstrong memorial question. Everybody
I
says
love
Brad.
that. Let me give you a
Please,
story about Brad. You
please.
need this. This is beautiful. Me and Brad are tagging against Masa and Kinski. And Brad did a spot with Masa and he drop kicked him and tatered him bad, hard. And Masa is like the toughest human being alive. So, anyways, they're doing this. They kept going, and all of a sudden, Brad went to shoot Masa, and Masa hit the turnbuckle, and Brad charged, and he stuck a boot up. And I told Brad, I said, "You're gonna get the receipt here," and all of a sudden, he come flying, and all of a sudden, kaboom! Masa took his head off, and he told him right there, "Recito." And and, and Brad understood. You know, Brad's like he's trying to get to me, and I don't know if he's working or if he's actually almost down, dead, hurt bad. So anyways, that night on the bus, Brad's feelings are kind of hurt a little bit, because he just got absolutely what he probably that's how that works over there anyways. So anyways, we're sitting in the bus, drinking beer and everything. Well, Masa had beer up front. There's coolers in the bus. They're not, hand coolers. They're built in the bus. And they always supplies it with plenty of good cold beer. And we're sitting back there drinking beer on the road. And Masa comes walking back. And he looks at all the boys and he kneels in the seat right in front of Brad. And Brad loved Masa. And all of a sudden he took the bottle and he stuck the cap in his eye, and he went, and he opened it, and he went, chugged the bottle down, handed the empty bottle to Brad, had the cap in his eye still, turned around and walked back to the up front of the bus. Brad looks at me, he goes, he opened the bottle with his eye. And I said, what? I knew what he did. He said he opened the bottle with his eyeball. And Brad's got this empty bottle sitting there. And I mean, he's just like, you saw how it goes. And then Masa comes back and he's got the bottle and another one. And he goes, and then he went, he made the sound like the bottle opened up. And everybody started laughing. That was Masa's way of making Brad. Then he handed Brad the bottle of beer. And Brad goes, what the hell? He says, I liked it better when I thought he opened it with his eye. But it was the best rib. I mean, it was just, and then, the mood on the bus was lifted and it was great.
We can put Masa now in that category as well, it sounds like. That's a good one. I like that.
Masa was nobody to play with.
Funny you mentioned beer because the last one is last man standing at the bar. And I always have to clarify now, drinking wise, not fight wise.
Oh, man, there's some guys that can go for freaking weeks.
Yeah,
I
but we're,
mean,
we're not talking the Ric Flair over the shoulder kind of go all night kind of thing.
uh, I mean, we've been on some trips, we got 6, 7 hour bus rides, and I promise you there's 4 or 5 cases of beer consumed with just a couple of guys, 3 guys, 4 guys going. I mean, the last guy standing, I don't want to say me, but God, there's a lot of guys, brother. I mean, that's just it's that's like the locker room. I mean, I could tell you guys that couldn't, but there's a lot of guys that can.
Um, Best beer as well. Best Japanese beer.
Asahi.
Mm.
Even though I did the Kirin beer commercial.
I was going to say, I love Kirin. Kirin's
Yeah,
the one for me.
well, I like the Asahi Light. But Kirin's fantastic beer. I did a baseball commercial for them, and they stocked the bus for like a year. I had more Kirin beer coming out of my ears. Loved it.
They do like a version of it here, but it's like the European brewed version. It just tastes like anything else. But
No, it's
Japan,
not. Yeah,
in
it's
Japan,
not so
it's
bad.
chef's kiss. Beautiful
And
beer, isn't
it's
it?
beautiful. That's just like a real bottle of Guinness. I mean, I love Guinness, and I just learned that Guinness is lower in calories and carbohydrates than just
Really?
about any beer. Yeah, who would have thought it? Unless I'm being ribbed.
Well, I'll look into that. The only thing I know about Guinness is if you drink too much, your shit turns black. It's it's
But I
full of
love
iron,
that
that
beer.
stuff.
Yeah, it's good beer.
We're going to move on. Smelliest wrestler.
God, Ricky Choshu. He
I've,
didn't use he didn't use deodorants or soaps. I'm serious. It's known. I mean, it just I hope he doesn't see that, but he knows.
well, it's nice not to evade his name
You know,
for once in my life.
when you say that and somebody's name pops to your mind immediately, I mean, yeah. Oh gosh.
Next one. The most talented wrestler you ever worked. You can only say one. Let's
Gosh.
let's say maybe not charisma or anything like that. In fact, why don't I put it this way: the smoothest worker who just made it so easy.
Arn Anderson.
The fine answer. A fine
Yeah, I
answer.
mean, I got in there with Arn and I just went, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, I'd still be working. I wrestled Arn every day.
Best
Yeah,
looking
he was
spine
he
buster in the business. No one's ever topped
absolutely.
him.
I, you know, for him not being in the Hall of Fame is
Well,
ridiculous.
he's with the Four Horsemen, but as a
No,
group.
he needs to get his day. They need to I mean, I don't always see eye to eye with Arn and a few things here and there, but the dude needs his just due. There ain't, he can work with any one of them, and every one of them in there would say, why ain't he here?
I'm trying to think which one I'm going to ask now. The biggest carny who you couldn't ever trust what they said.
Ooh, I I'd rather not.
Okay, that's fine. I'll move on.
But I mean, there's a few, believe
Yeah,
me.
that's fine. Worst abuser of spray tan or baby oil?
God, I know this. Well, Bret Hart, but I never worked Bret. I heard he put it in his hair and everything, but
He
I
did. He
wrestled.
did look like he swam to the arena sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was dripping.
I wrestled Jeff Farmer one time when he was Super J, and Jeff, we used to use this stuff called hot stuff, and that made you look oh good. Well, Jeff had this brilliant idea. He would use Pam cooking spray. So he's all squirted up with his cooking spray. And me and Jeff always did this high spot where he gave me a belly to belly out of the corner. When he went to belly me, and when he pulled up, he slipped. So he went way too high and dumped me straight on my head. It looked like a cartoon. It was because of that stupid ass cooking spray. And he had like 3 cans in his bag. I said, throw that shit away.
Rightly so as well. But now, I know you might not want to give the number for it, but what was the single best payoff for an event? Just one big show. If you don't want to give the number, you can just tell us the event.
Uh, it was Tokyo Dome show I did. That was quite nice.
Who did you wrestle?
Muda. I'm not going to tell you. I mean, we just don't do that. You know, I mean, so.
No, it's very rude to talk about money, but I thought I'd ask anyway, just in case.
No, that's fine.